Good morning and welcome to AI, the cool stuff. We're going to be talking about things that have happened in the last week or so and the crazy things that go on in my brain and maybe other people's brains as well, who knows. As always, we shall go around the room to start with and just introduce ourselves and what we do and how we use AI. So, Shelley, you were first. You're on mute.
Muted.
You're on mute.
You're still on mute.
Okay, there we go. Hi, everyone. It's lovely to be here again. Haven't been here for a long time. So I'm Dr. Shelley, founder of the Redox Movement, and I help people live healthier for longer by addressing health at the level where it all starts to go wrong, and that is the cellular level, right? Cellular communication. If you want a healthy heart, you need healthy heart cells. Healthy brain cells. You get the picture? All of this is maintained by cellular communication. And the problem is that most health interventions, they focus downstream, managing symptoms and treating conditions. But what I do focuses upstream at the cellular level using a communication system that your body already produces, but it loses dramatically with age and modern life. So when we restore that system, your body cells can communicate effectively again to detect what's going wrong and to address it. So examples in our community, we have thousands of people who have resolved challenges that bothered them for years. Some have come off of medication. We have Olympic goal achievement, even a person who no longer needs a wheelchair that they've used for 20 years. I also work with other health and sports professionals who want better outcomes for their patients and their clients. So introductions would be welcome there. So get in touch if you want to find out how you or someone you love could benefit. So that's me, helping people live healthier for longer. Thank you.
And do you use AI?
I use AI all the time. And I'm learning from Ken and Alessia Minkus that I've told you about. But my main thing that I use AI for is this nowadays. So when I do my posts, when I write my posts and stuff like that, I always want images that are reflective of them. And something that I have discovered is that I can just copy what I have written and I can go to something like the thing you introduced me to, Arena, and I can say something like, generate a image that reflects this article and use a particular color palette or any other little specifications I want. And voila! I love
it
that
works on
part of it.
ChatGPT and Gemini as well, but it's great. Yeah, it's exactly what I do the same thing with my blog posts that I create. Shirley.
Hey, hi everyone. I'm Shirley. I work in health and wellness, and I can no way match Shelley's pitch just now. So I'm not even going to try. So I work with people who want to change their lifestyle using or amazing natural products. Also show people how they can earn an extra income around what they currently do. I also work with other business partners like hairdressers, beauticians, personal trainers. So if you want to know more, or if you want to change your life in any way, please give me a chat. And in terms of AI, well, I'm still dabbling, and that's as much as you're gonna get.
Still dabbling, yeah. It's good for taking a quick photograph on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and getting the answer before the guys ummed and ahed about it. Actually, there's one yesterday for you, Shelley. Which of these cells does not have a nucleus? Is it fungus, bacteria, animal, or plant?
Ooh.
Now I knew about two of those. You're still on mute, by the way. So if you'll give me the right answer, I wouldn't know. But
I would go with fungus because they have mycelia.
Yeah, I mean, I knew it wasn't animal and I knew it wasn't plant, but so I would have gone 50-50, but it's actually bacteria. But I didn't know that.
Bacteria have cells. What you're telling me?
They don't
Bacteria
have
don't have
nucleus.
nucleus. Oh,
There's nothing
nucleus,
a
nucleus. Oh,
nucleus
sorry,
in
I heard
there.
you
Yeah,
wrong. Sorry, I heard you
yeah,
wrong.
yeah.
So
So
you just
yeah,
lost 1 million.
Uh,
It tell you that a
I
million
heard you
lined up
wrong.
for you.
it's but if you're quick with Gemini, you can just take a photograph of the screen and it'll just tell you the answer, and you can think, oh, come on, anyone knows that.
They have genetic material though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Steffi.
Hi, everybody. I'm Steffi Lewis, 33-year veteran web developer, founder and creator of various software that you can see listed here. And there's my latest product, Your Ping, possibly My Ping, all about a daily check-in for people who live alone and work from home that has no AI in it whatsoever, except for a tiny bit on the check-in pages. I am post-AI, even though I use it all day, every day. And I actually used AI to create that and that and that and that. So there you go. But yeah, go and check out yourping.uk. And if you could share it to your social channels, I would be most grateful. Just share the website to your social channels and say what a jolly good egg I am. Thank you.
Dave.
Oh, jumping ahead of Andy.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah. I think you made it.
I was last.
You made it.
I was
I
last.
think you made it by about 2 seconds, actually.
Oh, really? Okay, I'll go. So I'm Dave Caudle. I'm a career coach. I help people have the skills to get the jobs that they really love doing, that support the lifestyle they want. And as of today, I am a published author with the Career Readiness Toolkit, available in Amazon, Trotman, and all good bookshops. If it's not in your bookshop, it ain't a good bookshop. That's my view. And AI, I use mostly for sort of presentations and for research into sort of labour market, things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Research is incredible. Yeah, definitely number one. Andy.
Yeah, Andy from Web Success Insights. I help people get more from their websites. On the AI side of things, I'm feeling incredibly lazy at the moment. I was with someone yesterday, someone not particularly technical, and she explained how she'd created a Replit website for her other half, who's written a book on Celtic Britain 55 BC and made it so that it's highly visible. And he's just got a book deal for this from Random House purely from that visibility. Wow. And all she's done is she spun this thing up and included authors related to that topic in there, and it's been picked up by them, and they've reached out to him. Okay. Publish. You think, Jesus, this stuff can be done. So I'm feeling like a right lazy bastard for not doing Replit.
Write that down. Okay. Excellent. And I'm David Harris. I look after websites and I fix broken stuff. White screens, black screens. Little unknown messages.
You sound like the engineer from Star Trek Strange New Worlds.
All right.
He said, I'm an engineer. I fix broken things.
Fix broken things. Yeah. I fix broken websites. I create new websites that work. and I know about WordPress because I've been using it for so long.
New version out. There's a new version of WordPress out, isn't there?
There's always a new version of WordPress out. There's
version 7, I think.
Hardly a day goes by when I don't get the thing saying we've updated your WordPress installations. So yeah, there are.
My first experience with WordPress was so terrible. I've never gone back to it. I hate WordPress.
Well,
me too. That's why I wrote Splogit, because I hate WordPress.
Well, you see, it does have a lot of there are a lot of facilities with WordPress. There are pluses and minuses, obviously, because it's incredibly popular. Every hacker and his dog are out there trying to crack and wreck your WordPress site, with and all you've got to do is have one insecure plugin and they can be in, so it's so there is that consideration. But if you keep it if you keep it well maintained and use you know, good plugins, not just, trouble is plugins get published and they can be really useful little things, but they're, you know, it's not watertight security wise. And then even if it is now, if the plugin's been abandoned or not updated, it can be easily cause a problem for people's websites. And people get in, and usually you don't even know they're there, and they're just using your mail server to send out millions of smutty emails, you know, or whatever it is that you wouldn't want to be associated with if you're a serious business person. So yeah, so that is a consideration. But there's always issues with security, so it is something you need to take seriously. So this week, what's happened this week? So it didn't seem that long ago since NVIDIA had this $1 trillion market capitalization valuation, and now it's 5.5 trillion, just based on the fact of different people wanting their chips, you know. And Jensen Huang, who's the CEO, said it won't be long before it's worth $10 trillion. And yeah, as I've said before,
after a trillion. What's after a trillion? Because somebody's going to do it eventually.
Yeah. I don't know. I've heard lots of words, but I mean,
let me ask ChatGPT.
Yeah, what comes after a trillion? It's something
like
there is a symbol that comes on.
Quadrillion.
Quadrillion. That's it. QD. Yeah, because it comes out as QD on my thing.
Yeah. And then pen the million.
Quadrillion, quintillion, sextillion, septillion, octillion. No, that can't be right. I know it is right. Nonillion and decaillion, which is 10 to the power of 33.
Wow.
Okay, that sounds like a big number, but I mean, it's I don't think I don't know if the video ever reached at those levels. In fact, there could be a big crash and it could be worth that fall, but who knows?
Well, he's only got 3.8% of the company himself.
Yeah.
So he's only worth about 167 billion himself.
Oh, that's it,
is it?
Makes me feel better, that does.
I suppose a man of simple middle class means can muddle by on that somehow, you know.
Yeah. You do wonder whether they might chuck a billion here or there to good causes, don't you?
Yeah, you would have thought, yeah.
Apparently, we won't have a $quadrillion company in my lifetime unless inflation goes completely feral and turns a sandwich into a mortgage application.
Oh my gosh.
Quite.
Oh dear.
So,
I wonder though sometimes when it comes to the valuation of these AI companies, if they're not just pulling numbers out of a hat though, because they're basically, even though we're using them and there's a lot of applications and stuff like that, in terms of technological developments and how they've been and stuff like that, they're kind of still pretty much in the infancy stage because there's still a lot of bugs.
But so NVIDIA are a bit of an exception because they're producing the AI memory chips that you know, that everyone's, you know, this sort of unhinged global demand for these memory chips, so they can make them as fast as they can, and they're still, you know, they're guaranteed that they're being sold. And I think Trump has just given them the okay to sell the Chinese some as well, so that's going to obviously help their valuation because they were banned before. Okay, and then Grammarly. I saw Grammarly. Did you see Grammarly the other day? They've changed their name to Superhuman.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's why it's changed, right?
They've changed the name to what?
Superhuman.
I've got the browser extension, and it actually says Superhuman Go at the top now.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Oh my days.
You thought they were talking about you, didn't you?
Oh, well, yeah.
Superhuman. But there's, yeah, So I don't know why, because Grammarly is kind of does what it says, you know, that's what it
But
does.
it's really recognised brand Grammarly.
Yeah, yeah.
I
So
don't know why you change it and lose all the brand value.
yeah, yeah. Apparently they've bought another couple of companies. One's called Coda and the other one's called Superhuman Mail. So they've merged them all into one productivity suite. So it's so yeah, so that's it. So
That's why extensions changed.
yeah, yeah. So we've got
But it's
Claude
not
as well.
intuitive, isn't it, to the use?
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it hammers your machine though sometimes, the extension.
Right, yeah.
It can do.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm enjoying the plagiarism checker and the AI text checker. So my goal, obviously, every time I create a blog post is that it isn't classed as AI text, but I also like to run it through the plagiarism checker as well and make sure that I'm not copying anybody else's words, or if I am, it's in a completely unrelated industry.
Yeah, yeah. Will it reword
Yeah.
your output to so that it doesn't look like
Yeah.
AI?
So it highlights the paragraph that says this is plagiarism. It gives you the citation of where it's from. So if it was something in the industry that I'm writing about, so like accountancy or whatever, I can actually rephrase it.
Okay. And what
And
about the
actually,
AI detector? What about the AI detector thing?
well, the AI detect is easy. I just select the text in the body of the blog post and then make sure I just hit the AI detector button, and it just checks like a billion pages and it says, no, this isn't AI. No, it doesn't check a billion pages. That's plagiarism. It just goes, no, this isn't AI. It's all well-written human content. It's not. It was written by AI.
Yeah.
So
And
you
then,
can, so that's an example of how you can fool it, isn't it?
Mm.
yeah, well,
It's just
I
just
think
about pushing the envelope a bit towards, you know, it not being.
the thing is, ChatGPT 5.5 in the API writes excellent words. It really does. I mean, you know, because I give it the framework of point of view, tone, British English, various other stuff, friendly and everything. And then we plug in what my client wants to write about. It just writes it, and it's really, really good. And then I just go through and edit it, and lay it out, change colloquialism, stuff like that. And then I'll select it all and run it through the AI detector, and then run it through the plagiarism checker.
And all of that is in Grammarly.
Yeah, well, superhuman.
Superhuman. Yeah, sorry.
It works though, doesn't it, Steffi? The
Yeah.
stuff that Steffi produces for me using the AI is brilliant. And I very rarely have even a tweak to it.
It's really good, isn't it?
It's awesome, actually. Yeah.
The other thing I do to make Dave happy is I always put Lake District Mountains in the background of the image.
He's been very happy.
So all like the towns and the stuff that are in the image out the windows are all Lake District or North Wales or whatever. And then there's mountains in the background. And it just makes him happy.
I'm easily pleased, but I really appreciate
You've got to stay on brand, haven't you? So it's
yeah, absolutely.
so it's one of those things. And there's a Anthropic launched Claude for Small Business, which I haven't played with yet. It's a new suite of features to automate bookkeeping, financial insights, and marketing campaign generators. So it will plugs directly into apps like QuickBooks, Canva, PayPal, HubSpot. So we shall see. They've doubled their session limits, usage limits as well, which probably means it's now about 10% of ChatGPT and Gemini instead of 5%. Claude it's the one thing that stops me using it all the time is the skinny usage limits. I have hit the wall on ChatGPT. I've never hit the wall on Gemini, and I've always hitting the wall with Claude. So you just have to. Well, you can switch which model you're using, but even you can't even do that with Claude. Once you've used your usage limit, nothing works until 2 p.m. or whenever it says, you know. So it's whereas with say like with ChatGPT, you can just switch, you know, if you're using a different model, you can switch models and it'll allow you to use it as if you were a free user. So it's
I like Claude for idea generation and just bouncing my thoughts off of. I actually talk to Claude
yeah.
when it comes to things in my stuff, right? I just go to Claude and I just talk to Claude like if it's a human. I was like, Claude, what do you think of this? Or do you think I should do this?
Yeah, it is good to bounce ideas, and but the problem with the AIs is they tend to be a bit sycophantic. So you're the best things in sliced bread. Yeah, that's a fantastic idea.
But
Let's go with
no,
it.
Claude is different though. I find Claude is quite different too because I've tried the same process with Gemini and ChatGPT and stuff like that. Claude is actually different and it checks itself and stuff like that and it tells you when it doesn't really have the quite the perspective on something as well too. And I find that none of the others do that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's why I prefer to chat with Claude.
Gemini can be very sycophantic, and you can tell it to be, you know, tell me if I'm talking bollocks or something like that. You can put in, and then it will, you know, it will kind of critique what you're saying, but on what basis, you know? It's got to have a moral center, or it's got to have something where it's judging you on, you know. So what does it judge you on? Does it judge you on a left-wing politician, a right-wing politician, a vicar?
But you have to like what I've learned from like Ken and Alessia, you have to put your persona into these things as well too, so that they actually know you
Yes.
and on how you think and how you would do things and stuff like that. So that's what I find nice about Claude. And the other thing I like about Claude is this. Because I write a lot of scientific stuff and so forth, and Claude has access to the medical journals and things like that. Like if I want to write something, I'm thinking about something, I can go to Claude and I can ask Claude for research papers, right? Because it directly access these things. But the others don't directly access them. The others are using just all the knowledge from the internet. So that's why you find things like ChatGPT does make up placeholders and stuff like that there, right? But
They will specifically go to research papers if you ask them, you know, if you
yeah,
you
they
know,
can go into research mode,
I
but they don't have the direct access to the actual journals. That's
no,
that's the
they've got access to
difference.
PubMed and things like that, though, haven't they? You know, so it's and sort of most medical stuff is on PubMed, isn't it? So they should be able to
But
you know,
apparently ChatGPT doesn't have that because I have
it used
asked.
to. I mean, I
Claude does.
certainly pulled stuff out of that. Anyway,
You could do an agentic run on ChatGPT.
mm,
That'll do a deep dive and pull a load of stuff in, but you are limited to a couple a day, I think.
yeah,
Mm.
and Gemini is the same with they have deep research, which is the same thing, and it's and you can get in there. Anyway, sort of Google are thinking that they can solve like most of the energy used in data centers is cooling the stuff down, you know, because all this stuff generates so much heat that that they, you know, they would think that they've want to put sort of data centers in Iceland, in Greenland, and just open up the roof or something. And then, but now Google are in talks with SpaceX, and they're going to have a fleet of orbital AI data centers under Project Suncatcher to generate
Wow.
power from the sun, and it's quite cold up in space, so the cooling process will be a lot more easy. So that would
How
I think that was
expensive
gonna
that
generate power and solve the massive GPU cooling crisis.
I saw, in fact, I found the article here. I'm just going to drop it. It was about wave-powered AI data centers. And they basically, they're like a big buoyant circle with the stuff, but it's like an ice cream cone that navigates into the coolest part of the ocean and then uses Starlink to communicate from the cores.
Right.
But it actually uses the wave power to power the servers.
Right.
And it obviously seawater to cool it. I've just pasted the link in there. It's quite clever one.
Will it heat up the
But you know
oceans
that,
and-
sorry. You know that British entrepreneur, that guy Peter Sage, right? He tried to do something like that, generating that energy from outer space. I think it was back in 2013 that he had they had a setup and they had a lot of investors and people from NASA and stuff like that there. And it was the same thing of being able to put these light solar panels out in space and bring the energy back to Earth. But they weren't able to get it done. So I don't know.
I think, I mean, Google have got enormous resources, so I can't imagine, absolutely colossal. So
I hear the British government is actually looking into our own version of saving energy. They're apparently going to use bullshit powered stuff, which we are a world leader authority in.
yeah,
Well, they've already got biomass powered.
yeah.
Yeah.
They were saying that
We're world leader, wouldn't we?
they say that our immigration crisis has been solved by the fact no one wants to come here anymore.
Yeah.
They're all patting themselves on the back, and it's just, it's a shit country. We don't want to go there.
Yeah.
I think that's the policy. Make the country so bad that people want to leave. There's stories of like boat people who came across and now paying smugglers to smuggle them back to France.
My days. That's hilarious.
That's quite funny. But
So,
But even within the recent problems that they had in the Gulf, there are a lot of British business people and wealthy people who have left the UK
they're
and
coming back.
They want to actually come back to the UK.
Oh, they are. I know some of them.
I know they're coming back, but they don't want to come back. But they just feel they have to come back.
All the expats are saying, why aren't the government helping us go home? We're living because you haven't paid taxes for the last 10 years.
They're on their knees. I've just spoken to someone who had a holiday there. He shouldn't have gone. It was against advice. But he said everywhere you go, 20% off across the board because they're so desperate to get people in the doors because they've been decimated tourism-wise.
Yeah.
Mm.
All because of one orange man.
Yeah.
Well done, mate. Thanks for buggering up the global economy. For your ego.
I was having a rant about it earlier because my daughter's trust, right? They mature when they're 18. And because of what Trump was doing, these stocks was just falling and falling in value of her thing. That's why I was so mad, right? But by the time she turned 18, though, it had started to go back up, but it never did reach the level where it was before, So he has impacted so many things, right? It's just crazy to think about the things he's impacting.
He's such a grifter. He really is.
There was also it's politics, isn't it? But they started doing the investigations into all the stock market shifts just before he makes announcements and stuff like that, where people clearly know stuff's going on.
A load of insider trading.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
If he doesn't end up in prison, I'll be very surprised.
Doesn't end up dead, I'll be very sad.
Oh no, don't say that. Andy. No matter what people are like or what they've done or not done, Now
That's-
I wish for them to
That's
do
my US visit cancelled.
Yeah, that's right.
That's it. The fact that you're recording this and putting it on
Yeah,
YouTube,
yeah.
none of us are going to America. Then.
There's a man on the grassy knoll. Yeah. So anyway, we were talking about doing research on AI, and I thought, well, what would it, you know, if you wanted a blue alien, this was like a thought thing because it's for a fictional thing that I was just, you know, mulling over, and I was thinking, what would make an alien blue? You know, obviously, you know, sort of flamingos go pink because they're eating shrimps, and perhaps they could eat some cobalt rich sort of food or something. But then I wanted a really different alien. So, you know, I'm aware that, you know, carbon, we have a carbon backbone, and the only viable alternative just underneath it on the periodic table is silicon. So you would need a silicon sort of life form, but and I was just discussing with AI the viability of a silicon life form, and they're quite funny actually. So if you wanted to write a science fiction comedy, it's quite. I think I would definitely have a silicon guy because the silicon hydrogen bonds are very strong, so like rocks and silica, and the silicon oxygen bonds are very weak, which means your silicon alien would have to live in a radically different environment. It would have to be really, really cold or really, really immense amount of pressure. Otherwise,
Silicon next carbon in the periodic table.
it's silicon's just under it, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, below it or above it, I don't know.
Yeah.
I have heard the story of silicon aliens before,
Yeah.
because, you know, because silicon is like carbon, it does bond with other stuff quite nicely.
Yeah, but yeah, it does. If it in the right, it would have to be really high pressure or really low temp. Otherwise, your alien would turn into sand or something. You know, if
So
the
you
pressure.
you guys actually believe in the existence of these aliens then?
No,
Anything possible in the infinite universe.
yeah, because you could it would probably sneeze out sand or something, or breathe out sand. Or it could turn to sand if the pressure dropped or the temperature got too warm, and which I thought would be which would give you some really humorous ideas. And if one got out of his spaceship on Earth, you'd have a really nice garden ornament because it'd instantly turn into solid rock.
They did that in Star Trek. They had the mirror universe, and I think it was the Tholians, their silicon base, and they live in a very high temperature, high pressure environment.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's the Tholians.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry,
You'd have to be really high pressure, you know, like what's that other race? I don't know. It's another sci-fi. The Orville, there's people there that live under really high pressure.
That was high gravity, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So I think that they're quite distracting, and they're quite enjoyable. These little sort of what if scenarios that you can just chat with, because you can come up with different things. Because I thought you get your blue alien through having copper involved somewhere would turn them blue, which, you know, it could, but it's they would have to have a different type of blood. So
There you go. Pasted the Tholian in the chat.
yeah, okay.
There's silicon.
Right. And they've got Gemini brought out Omni, which replaces their video generation. You now get 10 seconds instead of 6 or 8. I think it was 8. It was up to 8 on the last release. It's up to 10 now. And the thing that's really cool about it is that you can make your own avatar with the app. and it will take your voice and your face, and it's you set the avatar up on the phone, and you says look left, look right, look up, look down, speak these sentences, speak these numbers, and then it will put your avatar. You can then access that avatar on your desktop as well, then, and then you can create any video with you in it. You know, walking around the streets of Paris or walking around the streets of Germany. Now, this is available in every single country in the world except the UK,
UK?
the EU, and
Oh, no.
Switzerland.
Oh my goodness.
Because there are strict rules about copying people's the privacy thing, even though it has got a watermark on the videos, but you know, obviously there is a way of getting rid of them, but they're hopeful they can get around compliance before too long. But
That's like when I was doing my Met Gala images the other week, and I said, you know, my escort for the evening is Brad Pitt, and he said I can't create a picture of Brad Pitt, and I said, well, how about creating somebody who looks exactly like Brad Pitt but isn't Brad Pitt? And he went, yeah, all right, I can do that.
yeah.
I got a picture of Brad Pitt in a dinner jacket.
Okay.
But the new, you can still use the new Omni because it's been released. Oh yeah, there you go. Steffi and Brad. You can,
My mate from my LA days.
yeah. Or you can go on Twitter and create it there instead, because Elon doesn't care about that sort of thing. So if I can I do a new chat? Let's just try Omni. It's only been out a few days, so I mean, it's I've got about 1 million windows open. We don't want that. We want to create a video. There were loads of styles and things you could put on there, but I saw some really good videos where somebody put themselves in. You can find them on YouTube if you just key in Omni avatar. Don't want that. So this is going to be like a cinematic ultra slow motion shot of flawless neon blast goes hummingbird shattering into hundreds of sharp crystals, impacting on a pool of liquid gold. This isn't one that exists now. It's just one that I asked Gemini just to create me a prompt that would show off Omni. So and the thing is that once it's created it can, a few minutes. I was hoping it was going to take about 30 seconds. You can then change the video. You can just edit it so that it's looks like something else. So I've never tried Omni. The old one used to take about 30 seconds or so. So maybe we'll go on there. But like I said, it's 10 seconds. It's got an invisible synth ID watermark directly onto the pixels, which survives cropping and filtering. So it can be verified as AI made. And I know it's I haven't looked at it very closely. It's called C2PA content credentials. It cryptographically puts markers on sort of videos and images, so they can instantly be told. It means they can be a bit more lax, because they can just, no matter what you do with that video, it'll still come out as AI generated. So and it also means that say like Facebook can mark down AI generated videos on their content, which I've seen. It's not in my thing today, but I've seen that Facebook are marking down AI generated videos compared with real life ones. So it is something to be wary of if you're using it for business. Shall I come back to that? Yeah, let's come back to that. I'll wait to see if that generates it or not. And the I'm flitting around my stuff because the other one, I'm conscious of time. Hermes. Anybody use Hermes? Anybody know what Hermes even is?
You mean the clothes shop or the?
Yeah, the clothes shop or the parcel delivery people, or no, it's an actual it's an AI, it's an autonomous background agent. So you install it on your computer, and it's got persistent memory. It remembers everything's stored on your computer. So you could have another server doing it if you wanted to, but it's got a persistent memory, so it remembers your every single conversation because it's all stored on your machine. It's got self-evolution, so if you give it a complex task, it figures out how to solve it, and then it writes its own permanent code on how to turn it into a reusable skill. I only just started using it. I mean, it literally programs itself to get smarter, and it's everywhere on your computer. Then it doesn't live on a browser tab. It connects whenever you want to use it. I've hooked it up to my WhatsApp, so I can WhatsApp Hermes on my computer and ask it to do anything. It'll do things on my computer for me. So and it'll come back with a answer or something like that. If I ask it to, I was asking it to go to a text blog the other day, and let's have a look.
David, that sounds like a backdoor Big Brother. Everything that you do on your
yeah.
By my back door, thank you.
No.
What's the security like, David? Because if it's all over your computer, how do you keep your passwords?
It's not.
exactly.
Yeah. It apparently it is. I haven't been. It's more secure than what's that other one that came out a couple of months ago?
Manus.
No.
Atlas.
Hmm?
Not Atlas, the browser one.
Yeah, there was another one, and there were question marks over its security, but it's closed it up now, so it doesn't.
OpenClaw.
Oh yeah, that's right, OpenClaw. Yeah. Apparently, it's an alternative to that. That's more, and it's more secure. But OpenClaw's is now okay apparently. So it's but you can just WhatsApp your computer, and it'll or you can WhatsApp yourself, and it's sort of when you set up Hermes, it will give you a QR code that you can then scan into WhatsApp, which then enables you to message your PC and get it to do tasks, and so.
So could you run it on something separate to keep it relatively secure?
Yes, you could rent a server for $4 a month and run it on there if you wanted to, or you could,
Okay.
or you could have a separate server next to your other computer, or but you can let's have a look. I'm trying to think of something that would be still generating that video.
Somehow I'm not feeling it for that one.
There's
Sounds very useful though.
It sounds useful, but it also sounds very dangerous.
let's I'll share my WhatsApp screen. We'll just try something out because it's nice. What was the last three things I asked you to do. So this is, I'm sort of messaging myself on WhatsApp, and then it should and then it comes up. You can ask it to research websites and things like that, and then it'll still be on there. Okay. You asked me to scrape the top 5 trending posts on the Hacker News right now and summarize why they are trending. Okay, well, let's do that anyway. And if I copy that, and I'm going to ask it to do the same task, but on WhatsApp, and then it should go away. It should, it already knows what the website is, because because I told it to go to hackernews.com on a previous chat. So I just got to sort of reference it, and then it comes back with what I asked it to do. So it's his up to the minute list of the 5 top trending posts on Hacker News, and it's kind of done it. So it's I only scratched the surface of it. So I think there's more it can do, and it can do a list of, obviously you can get it to schedule things, because it will connect up to your calendars and everything else, and it could.
I still don't know whether I trust AI having access. They're certainly never going to have access to my servers.
I agree.
No, but it's
I agree.
it's just one of those. Just that somebody I'm working with yesterday, he texted me yesterday morning and said, "Have you seen Hermes?" So I said the same question as Andy asked: Is that the courier, or is it the other people? Because Hermes is used for loads of different things. And he says, "No, I've got it doing everything on my computer. I don't even have to be there." So he set up all his tasks that he ever does, and it just does them all. So it's because a lot of stuff we do is quite repetitive, isn't it? And I think that's one of the main things about. I was on a course I was on a workshop last week about AI, and it was it's all about being clear about what you want it to do, and a lot of people are not. They sort of see stuff and you think, oh, that's great, I'll try and use it. And I'm guilty of that. You think, oh, that looks cool, I'll try and use that, but unless you've got a purpose for it, there's no reason to use it. My hummingbird's still not been created, which is a bit which is a little bit upsetting. The other thing I did this week, which was definitely great use, was I've got a maintenance contract with hypnotherapists, hypnotherapist.org.uk, and they asked me to. It's quite a glib statement. It just asked me to audit the website for any comparisons with any other organisations since 2010. There's about 20,000 posts on there, and get rid of them because there's a compliance issue. So it was mentioned like it was nothing, and obviously it's quite a lot. So it was ideal for AI and AI agents. So I did a mixture of doing Google searches. I did a Google search for you can just use a phrase. It says site : and then your website address, hypnotherapist.org.uk, and then I put in a load of search parameters: compare, comparison, versus, or VS, or other organizations, and any page that mentioned any of those keywords then comes out in the list, which there was about 80 of them. So then I get that list of URLs, and then Gemini wrote me a prompt for the deep research. So for it to scan for any direct mentions of specific organizations. It gave me a whole list of different organizations we could be compared with, plus any other organization, and look for anything that says that we've got more benefits than them in any sort of type of words. Then I submit the whole list, and off it went. And this whole process took me about 15 minutes. And I can't imagine how long it would have taken me to do it manually, you know. And then it come up with it. There was only 2 that was suspect, and so it gave me those list of 2 that we've now changed. So it was a real it's a real testament to AI. That particular task was saved me buckets of time. And the other one, which I mentioned yesterday, if you were there, was the I had somebody designed a CMS it was in 2009, and it was obviously all non-standard naming conventions, and it was just all written. All the PHP files were all over the place in different folders, and it wouldn't have made sense to create it like that, but it was a customized, just completely created from God knows how much he charged originally, because there's hundreds of PHP files, and it stopped working because they'd upgraded her server or given her a new server, and that meant that her website no longer worked. So again, it was a job for AI. Told me where to look and how to debug it, and then once we found the guilty script, then obviously it was easier. But doing that process to find where the error was the hardest bit, you know. So and in the end, I
AI is good at debugging.
Yeah. So giving me, I just kept screenshotting or uploading the whole script for if there were like 300 lines in the PHP file, I just dump that into AI, and it within like seconds it just comes back and says it's there. And again, that took me about half an hour, and I imagine that would have taken me all day previously. So it's definitely and the client benefits. I mean, obviously I benefit from not having to do that long boring job, but there's the client benefits as well, because you're charging less for it. So and they become quite pleased, and presumably they'll give you more work because you've fixed their issues that much quicker.
Imagine if we'd had that when we were going through assembler code back in the whenevers.
Right.
It would have been so nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I remember being on call and trawling through in the middle of the night through reams of assembler code to find a problem.
I remember assembler at college. I just couldn't get my head around it at all.
Yeah. And,
no, so glad when we moved on to basic, because I already knew.
even code, even when I started in 1980 or something, they used to use COBOL at Nationwide where I was there, and they just had to run it. They used to run a job on the computer, and the 500k of sheer power used to kick in and sort of process their program, and it just used to error, and all it used to say was error.
Batch COBOL and punch cards.
Yeah, punch card. I could read a punch card.
What makes print out afterwards?
Yeah. Somebody'd come along with a push trolley full of these punch cards, and then they'd pick them up and drop them or something. Yeah, it's they've all got little tiny numbers on them, so they got me. But it was
good exercise in sorting when I drop my pack of punch cards.
Right. Yeah. So it's my hummingbird hasn't been created yet. So so I'll have to show you the hummingbird next time.
We can post it on LinkedIn and tag us all in.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I will. Yeah. Yeah.
I think it'll be finished by next week.
I think it'll be finished by then. Yeah, that's a bit disappointing actually, because it's taking so long. It says this could take a few minutes, but
It's longer than a few minutes.
okay. And there's we'll cover the other things next time. We've got there's a Google I/O thing the other day, and they released 22 new features, and that's about wraps it up for Google search, what they've got planned for Google. So there's a new, they've basically got a new search box coming out onto Google, and it's functioning like ChatGPT or Gemini, and you can upload videos, files, and images into your search, you know. So it's and then and it's sort of AI mode is the default search. So it's that's gonna I don't know if it's gonna cause a problem. It's gonna queer some pictures, I guess. People have been relying on Google searches. And I noticed that what they said that some businesses have been excluding, or some websites have been excluding AI searches, or excluding themselves from AI for some reason, and it's and all their clicks have dropped. So you just got to be in it. So
Stack Overflow, they've lost half their users and half their traffic
yeah,
in like the space of a year because of AI.
yeah. I used to be in Stack Overflow several times a week.
Yeah, me too.
Because it's, if you don't know, it gives you solutions to your coding issues, you know, or it tells you how to do something if you're trying to do it. It used to it was a huge instruction manual, I guess. I guess that's what you call it. And it was but
Front end JS all the time. How do I do this? How do I do that? And
mm,
now that's ChatGPT and it writes the entire script for me. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for coming along today.
Yeah, thank you. I've got to shoot.
And we'll see you next time. My hummingbird is still being created, but I'll put that on LinkedIn later on. And
See you later.
I'll name you in.
Bye.
I'll
See you
then.
guys.
See you
Have a
next
great
time.
weekend, everyone.
Thanks. Have
Bye.
a good weekend, everyone.
Right. I suppose I should stop recording in some ways. But I guess if I